What is going on, YouTube? PPS here, obviously with my boy Monotone. How you doing today, Monotone? How's the week been? It's been a few days. This is usually our longest time without seeing each other.
Yeah, we've been keeping busy with those, Twitter spaces and stuff like that. We've been filling the time pretty well, I think, making our presence is known out there. So, but yeah, it's been a pretty calm week so far. I don't know. A lot of people have went kind of crazy with these slates, but man, the injuries, it's been real hard to keep up with. So we're all just kind of doing our best right now.
Yeah, no, these injuries provide so much value. We're seeing a lot of these accounts kind of blow up for hitting these big ass parlays and stuff, which is good. The community's growing and everybody's making their money. I was just so pumped when I hit literally like a 6-unit fucking swing on Andre Drummond a couple of days ago, dude. Yeah, I put a unit on both of those plays, and it was literally free, man. If they had a 20, I should have taken that too. But man, he freaking crushed for me. That was not a bad way to end January and head into a new month. So
yeah,
Drummond helped me out. He helped me out for sure.
Oh yeah.
All right, let me just get the tweet out and get some people seeing where we're at in here, and we will get her rolling. I know you kind of wanted to touch on well before on YouTube. I know that shoot. When we start up, let's pick. Yeah, I know I'm trying to put the video and send the thing out, but what do you like? What is your favorite game of tonight's slate? I know there's a lot. I know we've been kind of talking a little bit back and forth on what games we really like. What like before we start, which one are you looking at? Maybe more on like a DFS level or just like props, like prop overs, not the unders, but on the overs. Which ones are you leaning towards the most?
Yeah, no, from a biased perspective, I obviously love when my Wizards play, the 76ers. I think that will be kind of a sneaky good game, but obviously that's not the best. We've got some high totals today. Brooklyn, Sacramento is a huge one. Portland, LA is another huge one. Those are my two most anticipated. I really feel like someone's going to get ruled out for the Nets today. I think it might be Harden, but I don't know. But like the line is 3.5. Should the Kings really be 3.5 to the Nets? Aren't the Nets still second in line in the playoff odds, right? Like, aren't they literally number 2 right now? Maybe even number 1. I know KD's not playing, obviously, but a Nets team with Harden and Kyrie should be like +7, +8 against the Kings, not -3, or sorry, you know what I mean, -7, -8. So I don't know. That's probably intriguing. It looks like someone said I'm 75% sure De'Aaron Fox isn't going. He's already out, right?
Yeah, they ruled him out. Everything's already ruled out there.
So that's already baked into the line right there. So I don't know what's going on. If I was a spread guy, I'd probably super mega whale lock it. But as we know, the NBA, it never really works out like that, does it?
Ever. I know. Like those ones that just kind of scream your name usually miss for some reason. I don't know. Vegas knows what they're doing. We'll check in the chat, see who's all in here, and then we'll get her started. I'll kind of tell you my favorite game, and it'll actually lead into a few of our plays here. We got Jay in here. Jay's been in here popping in questions. We love to see it. Love to see what you guys are on yourselves too, because obviously we do the research and stuff here, but we'd like to see what you guys are on too. Just see if you guys are cashing some props with us. Snow day today, so I can actually log in and listen. Let's do it. I know there's a lot of games tonight. We're going to try and get through as much as we can. Jeff, how we doing? Everybody's popping in here. We feeling Rozier. We'll get to that Charlotte-Boston game. I know that one's going to be an interesting one. Snowstorm in Toronto. Yeah, no, we haven't had much here in Wisconsin, which is I'm perfectly okay with. I'm very okay with that. We got Calling Our Shot in the house. Thanks for joining in with us. I've seen he's killing it over there on YouTube as well. So keep doing your thing, man. I seen you just pass like 22 or something like that. It's pretty crazy. SS Austin, what's up? And we got Quinn in the chat. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you've seen those, but I've been posting a lot about wagons. Have you seen those?
Oh, I missed that.
No, the last couple days, people are finally like starting to catch on that like, oh, I have like trends that I follow on specific college basketball teams that are on every card. And so last night I went out because my play of the day yesterday was Toledo. Toledo is my number 3 ranked wagon. They're the number 3 ranked wagon
Okay.
right now. Toledo, Eastern Washington, VMI. Those are my 3 wagons this year. I think combined I have 36 bets on just VIP bets in those on those 3 teams. And I checked it last night. And we're 27-9 on freaking on wagon bets. And see, people already know before I even say it. They all know the wagon. So those are my 3 wagons. Dude, I freaking love attacking some of those teams, even though they're really shitty. Like if you look at like their record, they're shitty, but they cover, they play shitty defense, and they can shoot. So it's literally the perfect making of it, except Toledo's actually good. So without further ado, let's get off of college basketball. I talk enough about that shit. Let's get to some NBA. We'll start out with Monotone's first play today. We'll start out with our both our smallest ones, and we'll move on up to our big ones later.
Yeah, sounds good. I'm all over Kyrie Irving tonight, over 2.5 threes at plus 110. This number just seemed weird. I guess when I was kind of opening it up, I was expecting maybe minus 120, maybe minus 130 even on, kind of a rough day. You get the Kings, which as most of us know is an elite matchup, right? Shooting guards against the Kings, point guards, honestly, almost everyone against the Kings, to be completely honest. The Kings are an absolute smash matchup. The Nets haven't been playing well, man. They haven't been playing well at all. But despite that, Kyrie still hit this in 4 straight games very easily, taking almost 8 shots in every single one of them. He's only played 9 games on the season, but he's hit this in 6 of 9 of those games. So we're even not even accounting for warm-up time, getting back in the flow of things. He's been kind of pushed back in the flow of things and already has been hitting this number very consistently. So half a unit just because – this game, it really does throw me off. Like I said before, I feel like one of them could be ruled out. I don't think it's going to be Kyrie because he's committed to playing every single road game. You don't get to pick and choose when you're not playing home games, So I think Kyrie will be out there, and the volume is just so consistent, man. If you guys look through his game logs, every game, 8 shots, 8 shots, 6 shots, 8 shots. It's great volume, very consistent. I love Kyrie tonight. Might have to work him in some of those alt lines maybe too, I don't know, but I do love Kyrie tonight for sure.
Yeah, no, that is a really good point that you said, that he really can't sit games, right? Like we've seen Harden sit with like a hand or something small, but Kyrie ain't going to do that. Kyrie goes balls to the wall in every single time he gets a chance because, like you said, there's only 50% of the games that you can play. I love Kyrie. I think that every single time he plays, obviously we get a little bit of a hit to Harden. But the thing about Kyrie is he's really not a point guard, technically. Like, the dude should be just a shooting guard because this dude can just shoot from anywhere. And what's really nice is we haven't really had Kyrie with a guy like Harden here in, like, his career. Obviously, he had LeBron, but LeBron would still score first. Right now, Harden is literally looking to triple-double every single game. Obviously, the rebounds still both be kind of harder for him. But, like, you're seeing him 20 – he's okay with, like, low 20s. Where in games that Kyrie's not there, he's going for 30-plus triple-doubles. Now he's got, like, he goes 22 points, but you're going to see 12, 14 assists. And who else would it be to besides him and Patty Mills? I really do like this line. I think I'd rather go at this plus money spot than on his points because his points, I know, are a little bit juicier. I think that the 3 line here is very nice.
Yeah, I think the only worry for me, I would have to say, would be the Kings' interior defense is really bad. So sometimes a guy like Kyrie doesn't need to shoot threes. He can just dice you up inside. That's kind of my one worry here. But the volume is just too good to pass up. The consistency is just too good to pass up. So I'm on Kyrie. I might have to even upgrade this a little bit. I do like Kyrie a lot.
We have Jeff in here asking if there's a safe SGP. First off, I don't really think there's really a safe one on anything. I'll never say safe. I'll never say lock on any of these things. Those are like curse words in my vocabulary. But maybe throwing like a Harden 8 assists, maybe something like that. I'm sure that's like minus 400 or something. But
yeah, you might have to go up to like 9 or 10. But yeah, if you can get 8 or 9, I agree with that. It's because they correlate, obviously. Yes. Correlated same game parlays is the only way you kind of beat the VIG that the books give you. So
yeah, no, definitely think that would be my lean on that question. We have that guy bets. He finally puts his Twitter name in here because every time it's always just like his actual name. I'm like, he's saying some sketchy stuff.
There you go, making it official. Appreciate you tuning in, bud.
Welcome in here. We'll have to get you on sometime if you are able to pop on. Jay mentions maybe Halliburton 6 assists. The only thing is just possible blowout stuff, right? Just kind of stuff we've talked about already. But Halliburton should crush. It's just if someone said that he's questionable on underdog, so if I wouldn't take that with Fox in because I'm sure the value is just beat to hell.
Yeah, I mean, everything I read said Fox is ruled out, so I don't know.
Yeah, I saw out too. I'm looking at DK has a 4-3 special. Okay. Well, hopefully he lands on 3 because I know everybody, whenever this happens, it's like a curse. So hopefully he gets to 3 no matter what. Hopefully he gets there for you. Let's get to my first one here. And then we'll get to a couple more questions. Appreciate all you guys dropping some stuff in there. We'll get to them in a second. I'm going Caris LeVert route today. This was the game I actually was going to talk about as my favorite of the day for props. I just think that this line's just a little bit too low. Obviously, they ruled out Sabonis on the COVID list. Brogdon is still out, and Goga officially is out as well. That's a 35% rebounding percentage out the window here. And really, when we've had all these guys out, you're going to expect some blowouts, right? I think 3 of the 5 games with all 3 of them out have been 20-plus point blowouts, which I think also helps this line because if they weren't, I would be expecting to see this at like 29, right? Because he is that high of a usage guy. It's really a pace-neutral spot here. And he's playing against the 8th worst defensive efficiency team today against the Orlando Magic. And also when we've had the blowouts, right, there's been 2 games that there haven't been blowouts. One, he played 43 minutes versus OKC, and another one he played 36 minutes versus the Clippers. The OKC one was overtime, so he did play 38 there. So we are seeing a pretty good sizable amount of minutes here. He's cleared 6 boards in 5 of the last 7 games. And also a stat that I thought was weird, but I did find on, I think it was like Hollinger, where I find my NBA pace stuff, was Orlando Magic rank 3rd lowest in offensive rebounding percentage. So that is huge, which I was really surprised because you have Wendell Carter and Mo Bamba, but both those guys do go out by the 3-point line quite a bit. So 3rd lowest offensive rebounding percentage. I think that really helps LeVert here on those Jalen Suggs, Gary Harris threes, stuff like that, so we can get a little bit longer rebounds here. But I really like this matchup. I really like this pace, and we're seeing a nice 226 total, 3 or 4 point spread, literally right in the perfect wheelhouse for a prop that I like the over with, especially with the number 1 option on a team.
Yeah, no, man. LeVert, I mean, he steps into such a huge role when all these injuries happen. Obviously, Sabonis is huge. I don't think people realize how much Sabonis affects the game. Like, he touches the ball so much more than most other players in the NBA. It was kind of him and Randall last year that just consistently both of them just consistently like touch the ball at an amazing rate. So yeah, LeVert's going to be the primary ball handler, probably the primary scorer as well tonight. So yeah, I think there's going to be plenty of opportunity. And obviously he gets the Magic, not only who aren't great to begin with, they're on a back-to-back now. So it's a pretty young team. I'm not sure it'll hurt him too much, but I still think it's a great matchup to exploit. LeVert's, I think, just going to keep shooting, man. We've talked about it before. The guy's a shooter.
Yeah, no, this is a stat I looked at too, over 6.5, but it is literally ingrained in my brain, Caris LeVert not to pass the ball. So no matter what, I don't even care if he had like 15 last game and they gave me a line at like 5.5, I probably would still not play it. Just because it's just, I've seen him so many times where if he hits like his first 2 or 3 shots, it is over, man. It is over. There is not a chance that ball is coming out of his hand. So I really define him as like an Eric Gordon, Bobby Portis. Oh, Jay already knows. Jay's been in here too much. He knows exactly what I call him. Call him the black hole, where it goes in, it's never coming back out. So I will not take assists. I think the rebounding spot is definitely the nice one. And if I can get 6 rebounds here, I just need a 20-pointer from him. I think that is definitely live in this spot. And he does have the ability to get closer to that 8 or 9. He's done that 2 times in his last 6. So I think that will be a spot that I can get for sure. We have Brian in here telling me about the lock of the year.
Yeah, I mean, I think now's as good time to talk about it, because
everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, everyone is talking about Ja right now, and I think I kind of like his under today. It's only at 27 points. I know he's hit 30 points. This isn't like an official play, by the way. I'm just genuinely curious what you think and the people in the chat think. because, man, we talked about it before. The Knicks matchup is not fun. It's a pace down spot. They're not even
very much paced down. That's like an understatement of pace down. Like Memphis is 2, the Knicks are always last or second last. So this is like all the way down. I'm gonna check the difference here. I'll take a look at the pace there.
Yeah, no, yeah, and while you do that, I mean, just looking at the guys that have played the Knicks recently that you'd think kind of match up with it. Just last month, there were 4 teams that were in a similar kind of pace range. When you look at it, the Kings are one of them. They're actually even faster than the Grizzlies are. Their leading scorer was Halliburton with only 21 points. No one else even went above 20. And the next game was the Timberwolves. Edwards had 21 points. Nobody else above 20. The Hornets, LaMelo was out, so Bridges did go off. He had 38 points, but the whole
that was
team,
on MLK Day though. That was MLK Day in
and
the
whole team only scored 97 points that whole game, so they were still kept under 100 points. And the last one, the Spurs, another similarly paced team, DeJounte Murray only 24 points. So the under is intriguing, man. It really does. Like that Knicks snail pace. I understand everyone in the world wants to bet the over. Even I started to write up the over too, man. I love Ja. I love what he's been doing recently. Tonight does feel kind of like a letdown spot to me.
Yeah, no, looking at this, New York is 3rd lowest in pace. They actually passed the Toronto Raptors by 0.01. And the Heat are actually now officially the slowest with the updated numbers for today. Guess how many possessions Memphis is going to lose today to the Knicks?
I've absolutely no clue. Just let it drop the knowledge on us.
We're seeing Memphis sit at 102.1, New York 97. So almost 5 full possessions here. And I get it. They're going to try and run on these guys, but I don't think the Knicks are going to do it, man. I don't think the Knicks are going to do it. They have their type of basketball. And this is my biggest thing about the Knicks and why I think that they go so slow. Because imagine if you have to play 40 minutes. If you're Randall and you're like these guys like Barrett who have to play 38 to 40 minutes, no shit, I ain't going to be wanting to run fast break, right? If I'm going to be out there and only get like a 2-minute water break, I'm going to have to let's slow it down so I can actually have some energy because they actually do play pretty decent defense as well. So it all kind of goes together.
Yeah, and I see Jake in the chat said scary to bet against Ja the way he's been playing. I agree. I mean, sometimes these players honestly are just on a different level where it really doesn't matter who they're playing. But I mean, you're talking to someone, right? I played Ja Morant last game against
me too.
Matisse Thybulle. Matisse Thybulle's one of the best defenders in the league, and I still had that confidence. It's not about individual defense in this game. It's just about the strategy that the Knicks play. They're really good in transition. They slow the game down. They make it really hard to thrive. So I've kind of been thinking about it all day. I think the number could get up to 28, maybe 29 even, if enough cappers keep coming on the over, and maybe I'll hit the under back at that point. I haven't made up my mind yet. I just kind of wanted to gauge what the chat thought, what you thought, just how popular he was today.
Yeah, no, I definitely would agree. I would probably go the under, just because, like you said, there's so little paces here, right? There's just so many less possessions for him to have that opportunity. And Ja's an elite fast break scorer, right? And New York is actually pretty good at getting back in transition. Yep. So I think that's going to be a huge spot. And I would take the under too, just because when you have these super popular guys, super popular plays, you want to be on the under before it gets like crazy. Like if this gets up to 28.5, I'm definitely taking the under. Like this is the worst matchup. It's like when you have like Gonzaga or something, like a top offense, and they play against a team in a snail pace where they're literally going to walk the ball up the court. They don't care, right? They don't care about numbers. They don't care about that. I think the best spots in these types of games that I like are rebound props. I don't have a rebounding prop in this game yet, but I think that this more screams to me. I know someone posted they like Bane. I really like Jaren Jackson if he doesn't foul. I think Jaren Jackson has a day here. He has to. I mean, Jaren Jackson's going to have to be either with like Robinson or whatever. Like when he plays pace down spots, it's going to be harder. And I think it really focuses on those big guys in this type of game.
Yeah. It's tough. I don't know. Yeah. We saw it. Interesting. Might be best to bet live. Yeah, that's true for sure. It's just tough. RJ
Thoughts on this one?
What?
Thoughts on that?
I think the thing is the Knicks the Knicks switch a lot, but their rotations themselves are super hard to kind of figure out. They switch a lot of players in and out, but I imagine that's right. And then next, I'm out on job pivoting to Bain. Yeah, Joe, shout out to Joe for sure. Action Network writer himself, great contributor to my Discord down below. He's great. Go follow him. But it's tough. It's tough.
Yeah, and definitely Bain and Jaren Jackson. The reason why I like those guys quite a bit is because if they're gonna put more attention to Ja, right? New York gives up a lot of 3-point attempts because no one wants to go down there because they're freaking mountains down there, right?
Yeah.
So if we have those mountains, Ja's kick out. I think Bain and Jaren Jackson could be a nice little same game parlay on just 3-point attempts because I think that turns into. I was on the Jaren Jackson 3-point line. I remember, oh man, it was on the show too. I don't know if you remember that when I had him to score 25 points in my long shot like 2 weeks ago. This is that type of game where it's tough for him to score down low. Like Mitchell Robinson, Taj Gibson, those guys aren't no joke. Same thing with Nerlens Noel, man. I think that they're good shot blockers, and obviously Jaren's good at it too. But I think he sits more on the 3-point line and hits those outside shots. I think that's a good look today. I saw maybe somebody on Twitter over 1.5 at plus money.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but for me, it would be I would not be interested in Jackson points, despite how well he's been playing recently, because of the reason you said. But I do like that 3-point. I mean,
I wish that was such a. I 100% agree. I've said this so many times.
It'll never be a thing. The one thing that gives me hope is carries is a thing in the NFL, and I mean, maybe we'll get there one day. Oh, that would be great. This guy said Jalen Brown. What about Jason Tatum, man? That line would be sitting at like 11.5. Ugh.
Dude, if they gave me a 3-point attempts, dude, I would probably go to Eric Gordon every single game, dude. That guy just, whenever he touches it, it's just boop, boop.
Well,
Think of Patty Mills. Like, imagine Patty Mills shooting 3. Like, I don't think I've seen him shoot more 2s and 3s than ever. Ever.
I mean, I'll let you know when I write about him. I wrote about him once. The guy shot 2 threes all game. They also started 3 shooting guards that game. It's the one Kevin Porter got ruled out.
That's so true. That's so true. He shoots so many. And he's a good slasher too, which is why I don't understand why VanVleet just doesn't slash.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was working well for a while there.
Yeah. Yeah. Until you play 57 minutes and your legs feel like Jello.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, not so fun. Not so fun for sure.
All right, let's get to our 2 bigger ones here. We'll get to those. With no guests, we will have DFS stuff coming for you. We'll start out with Monotone's biggest one of the day.
Yes, this is on DraftKings. It's Nurkic to have 14 points and a steal. I love this play a lot. I've kind of thought about making it even a bigger play. It's kind of hard because, 2-leg stuff is very unreliable, like you said earlier. But man, Nurkic he's been playing real well yesterday. I wrote it all down earlier just to talk about his performance recently. He's averaging 16.6 points per game and 1 steal per game without Dame this year. So without Dame, he's already 2 points over this points number. Additionally, in his last 10 games, he's averaging 19.9 points, which is obviously very impressive. And then versus LA this year with Dame and CJ playing, he still dropped 15 points. Additionally, with 3 more steals in that same game. In his career versus LA, most of those games are with Dame. He still is averaging 14.3 points and 1.6 steals per game. Since January 1st, he's gone over this points number in 13 of 16 games and over the steals number in 15 of 16 games. So this is, we're talking about some high hit rates right here. I like the LA matchup. There's not a lot of rim protection. Yeah, see, AD is back, right? But the way AD's playing, he's not playing like Miles Turner, where he's sitting himself down in the paint and he's just making sure nobody messes with him. Similar to Gobert, those kind of premier rim defenders. AD is going to be all over the place. He's such a flexible defender that I do think he'll be all over the place. So I think AD is obviously an issue right here, but we're asking once again for two alternate lines right here, right? We're getting a lot of value with 14 points as opposed to betting the regular 17 points. Yeah, Joe said AD might as well play the 2. I mean, the way he plays out there, I can't argue with that. So I'm definitely into Nurkic tonight. I'm not too worried about that Lakers interior at all. No LeBron. I think it'll be a competitive game. We've seen one of the highest totals on the board. I think the steal thing, like I said, 15 of his last 16 games, 3 against the Lakers. I think that's great value in there. It's just kind of finding the right piece for it. rebounds or points for Nurkic. I think he's going to have a good game. 14 points is his minimum, right? He's so consistent, 19 points over his last 10. I think this one is pretty easy right here.
Yeah, and one thing I will say about AD, and one thing that Nurkic is extremely well, like very, very good at, is offensive rebounding. He's almost like 11% offensive rebounding percentage, which is one of the top 10 in the entire NBA. And Nurkic is actually good at when he grabs the board, not dribbling. Like he just grabs it up, boom. There's so many of these big guys who will dribble with it. Nurkic doesn't have to do that. He just grabs it, because how many threes are going to be put up in this game? Probably 1 million from the Portland side. With this pace, you got Simons, you got McCollum, you got Powell. All three of those dudes shoot threes way more than they shoot twos. So I think that we're going to get a lot of offensive rebounding help here from Nurkic. And, I mean, I think that Nurkic is going to move Davis if he really wants to. He is way thicker than Davis is. Obviously, Davis is coming off his injuries and stuff. I really love Nurkic. He's one of my favorite DFS guys to take because he can break a slate at all times. To do block shots, steals, for centers to do that is huge. Those are something that you usually don't get. You usually don't get steals, right? You're hoping for 1 or 2 stocks in a game. Nurkic can give you 4. Yeah. And that on like FanDuel is 3 points per, which is absolutely massive, especially on like a big slate like today.
Yep. No, I'm glad you're on board. I think it's just a great spot to be targeting him right here. It's also, we didn't even mention the pace, obviously. We know the Lakers defense has not been good for them. Pace has been high so far this year. So I'm expecting a lot of points to be scored. Like I said, with no Dame, it's kind of hard to look at Lakers stats or teams versus or like Portland guys versus the Lakers, because in every game, Dame just has 40 points. So you have to kind of scroll through and look like how they did next to Dame scoring 40 points because he just loved playing LA. So it's interesting, but I do think Nurk will have another good game right here. And I kind of want to make this like a 2-unit play, honestly. Sometimes I think you know what I'm talking about. You write up a play and you're like, yeah, this one's going to hit, I
just sit there like, oh, why do I only have it for 1.5?
Exactly.
This needs to be like 2.5.
Exactly.
And then it smashes and you're like, shit. You're just like, what the hell? But no, I love it. I like the way you made this put into a minus 120. Because what is Nurkic 14 points? Like minus 190, minus 2 something?
Yeah, it's going to be like 250, 240, 250.
Oh, yeah, you're getting insane value on this. I think this is a great mix-up here for sure. And we're going to my last play of the day. One of my favorite PRA guys ever. This dude, I don't know my exact numbers over the years of PRA guys, but Jalen Brunson is that dude for me. This guy, when he gets extended run or he has to be one of the top 2 guys in this offense, this dude crushes. The last time I can remember him being like that was against Portland, I believe. I believe Kristaps was out that game because it was that late night one. And that was the time that you and me, I think, were on NBC for us talking. It was Dallas and Portland. And we were on there talking about it. And that was the one I didn't give out. I gave out 2 plays, and that was my third play. And it smashed. He had like 37. I think he had like 21 actual points. But this dude literally does everything. He has his hand in every single part of the game. He's getting like 32 to 35 minutes. I think the biggest thing here and why this line is a little bit lower is 3 of the last 5 Dallas games have been resulted in 20-plus point blowouts on either side. So there's really no reason for him to have to play more, right? There's one game they lose by 30. There's a game they win by 23. You don't see this many blowouts, and Dallas being as good as they are on defense can blow teams out without having to do too much. Right, we have no Porzingis tonight officially already. He has a 22% usage without Kristaps Porzingis on the court this year, so about a 1.2% bump. We're also seeing a 28.3% rebounding rate usage rate for Porzingis and a 19% rebounding rate for Porzingis. So that obviously has to go somewhere else. It's a pace-up spot for Dallas here, almost 2 full possessions, and I like I said, he's a PRA guy for me because he literally can hit any stat sheet.
Yeah.
Even when the full team is healthy, he's still averaging right now on the month 6 assists, and that's with one of the most ball-dominant guys in the NBA and Luka Doncic. Obviously, there's no Hardaway as well, which is another probably 7 to 12 shots per game. if we can get a close game, obviously I know it's going to be tough facing the Thunder here. But besides Luka, how else are they going to really create offense with no Hardaway for three, no Kristaps down low? I mean, I don't really see a way this gets like to the fit. They're projecting it at a 12-point spread. I think that's pretty fair, but that's not a pull your starter spread. It's got to get to that 20 spot. And I think that the Thunder can find a way to scrap and claw and maybe keep it. All I needed to do is stay close till the third quarter. If they can keep it till the third quarter, I think we still get that 35 to 38 minutes from Brunson. And yeah, I just really, really like him. The last 10 games for him, he's had 15 points, 5.5 assists, and 4 rebounds. I just think that's with both of them in. And a couple of those games did have Hardaway in there as well. So we're going to lose a lot of usage. We're losing a lot of rebounding percentage. And we're going to have a guy in Brunson that literally is just everywhere. He's always in the right spot. And I think that this is a great spot for Brunson to kind of have one of those ceiling games for him.
Yeah, no, you said it perfectly, actually, when you said one of the best PRA guy there is. I actually think you're probably right on that. I'm just kind of thinking through, other like he's so good at being involved in every asset of the game. Like you said, he's such a complete player. He doesn't have the higher ceilings that some of these other guys do, but man, his floor is so high. He's just so consistent when he goes out there. I really don't think 27 points, rebounds, and assists is asking for much at all, man. I mean, he can get there multiple different ways, like you said. It's an interesting game. I think Brunson, he's just a great player. I just believe in Brunson, like when he goes out there, he's just so consistent. He's kind of won me over too. You know what I mean? So I definitely like this one. And this kind of feels like a game too. Like you said, I'm not super, super worried about blowout. I feel like it's one of those games kind of where Dallas is up by like 10 the whole game, like 10 to 15, and it never gets out of range, but it never feels close. Dallas just kind of wins. All the starters get their minutes on both teams. That's kind of the vibe I get. And plus, I do like the Luka unders a lot in this game.
That's exactly what I was going to say is everybody's on that over. And for some, like, this does not – he's going to have to score. I get that. But, like I've been seeing PRAs out there. Obviously, ability to get a triple-double any night. But this game just kind of seems like he doesn't really need to do that. I think that this is not a ceiling type of game, especially after he's been going off these last two. So this is more of like that – you play your rival on the weekend, and then you have a game on a Tuesday, right? It's just like there's really not that get up for it, right? You're playing the Thunder without their best player, right? Mm-hmm. It's just like there's not really that much – I don't want to say excitement to it, but you know what I mean? It's just kind of that weird middle spot here on a Wednesday.
100%. Yeah, we also got thoughts on Giddey rebounds in that same game. It's interesting, it's close. He's so inconsistent is my problem, really. The guy will go from like 14 rebounds to 5 game to game, and it doesn't seem to like really matter the matchup almost. So I would lean over just in general. I think Giddey's just a real high usage player when he's out there. So I think maybe RA too. I like the assist, obviously, with the guy.
Yep.
But yeah, I can see it for sure.
It's so hard to guess because he does both well.
Yeah.
He has ceiling games, I swear to God, in every single game on one of the stats. But you can never figure out which one it's going to be. And that's the hardest part with Giddey because you're like, one day I'll bet rebounds and he has 11 assists. One day I'll bet assists and he'll have 10 rebounds. It's like he's tough, man. He's a tough read. I don't know why. Let's get to a few questions. Look like we got a few here. Okay, I did not see Jokic out.
He said, disclaimer, Jokic is questionable.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think he sits. It's a toe. I don't really think he sits.
I don't think so either. But if he did, even just to go on that real quick, he kind of like Monty Morris reminds me of Bradley Beal when he was younger. Like the guy, like now Beal is kind of triple-double watch these days, but like last year even, like the guys shoot first. He's not out there to pass to other people. Monty Morris isn't like a playmaker, definitely not a super above average. So I would not be looking that way, even if Jokic was out or just in the future in general. That's my personal preference, but just the way the guy plays, I don't really see a triple-double kind of guy at all. I see more, I want to go out there and put up 25 points and take 8 to 10 threes kind of guy. So that's just me.
Yeah, I've been screwed on him so many times. I remember he was my last leg of one of my parlays for a pass the prop parlay, and yeah, it didn't Yeah, D didn't come through for me. I'm putting up I just saw a couple people message that they just got here. So I will I'm making the banner for the bottom for the ticker for you guys so we can get that out for you. I believe there was 2 more questions in there, right?
Yep. While you do that, I'll talk about, he asked, did you guys, or someone asked KPG, Kevin Porter Jr. Jay, thank you. So that's a big one. Besides Ja, I would say he might be the second most talked about guy I've seen on Twitter so far. It's the revenge game thing, right? And I don't know about you. I do buy into narratives to a certain extent. I think the thing is, he's kind of like a crazy guy, right? Like the dude doesn't seem like super stable. And if he wants to go out there and shoot the ball like 30 times, it seems like he's perfectly fine, like getting benched, getting yelled at by coaches. Like if he wants to get his like 30 shots in tonight, I feel like he could. So I would not touch that under. There's no way. I don't know if I've talked myself into the over yet either, but there's no way I would touch that under.
Yeah, he's getting a lot of love on Twitter. I mean, I get it, but it's not like this is a good matchup at all. Like Cleveland is a tough matchup.
Very good point.
PPJ is not a good 3-point shooter. I don't care what people say. I just don't see him as a good 3-point shooter. I don't even really see him developing that. He's a good slasher, good point guard. But how are you going to finish at the rim over Mobley and freaking Jarrett Allen? I just don't see this as a KPJ game. I mean, I get it. If he had this narrative against like Charlotte, hell yeah, I'd probably throw like 3 units on it. I'd max that thing. But this is a tough matchup here. And I'm not going to be on any KPJ.
That's actually a good point. No one's actually mentioned that all day. We've been talking about this guy. Nobody even mentions that it's a terrible matchup. Yeah, that's a great point.
Awful matchup.
Yeah, I mean, you can't really get much. Because the thing is, not only can Cleveland defend the paint, but they also have like a guy like Okoro who's legitimately like an all-star level perimeter defender. So not only do you have the paint protection, but you also have a guy who can stop you at the 3-point line too. So yeah, it's a brutal matchup.
Yeah, very tough, very tough. Anything on Terry? I didn't say anything on Terry. I know he has his narrative too. Everybody loves these. Going to Boston again. Just Charlotte is a tough team to predict. Yeah. We say that every time. I love fading them. I love attacking their defense.
Yep.
But, okay, you want to bet Terry. How mad are you going to be when Miles Bridges drops a 30-piece? How mad are you going to be when Gordon Hayward just came back and now he's going to get he gets 20? You know, like there's so many guys, so many mouths to feed. And Terry still technically is a guard, so he's still going to probably look to pass too. I mean, I get the narrative. I get all that. I mean, if I'm going to do anything, it's probably just going to be like points, assists, maybe. Give me a little bit of value on the assist line, seeing as maybe LaMelo wants to pop off on him. But it's so hard betting on these guys, you know?
Yeah, no, for sure. I think my answer to that would be pretty simple. Like, has Terry been playing great recently? 100%. Does he have great history against the Celtics and like the revenge game stuff? Is he good in like his revenge games? Yeah, he's been great. But still, like you said, it's the Hornets. Anyone could go for 30 points any given day. So Terry's been playing great. I have absolutely nothing negative to say about the guy. We also got another one right under from Jake. This is my favorite question of the day because I've been thinking about it a lot. So congrats, Jake. Appreciate you putting that one in for me. It's Dinwiddie. I'm curious what you think about him. I think we're going to talk about this a little bit more in DFS. Because I think I'm going to play him in DFS a lot tonight too. And that may be really dumb. But, man, the thing is, Dinwiddie, like, I think I'm going to play his assist tonight. I do. I think I'll probably – because what I'm looking at too is I want to play 6.5. But Bovada, for all those people that use offshores out there, has 6 assists at minus 179. So that's a real good 2-leg parlay piece because you're getting 1 assist off for very little juice. I mean, it's minus 250 on FanDuel, minus 175 on Bovada. So I'm just kind of figuring out how to best play his assist prop. I'm looking for other things to pair it with. That's what I'm working on right now. So that'll probably be a play. But even points too. Everyone is I hate Spencer Dinwiddie, man. I really do. I hate him more than almost everyone else playing DFS tonight. I watch him every night. I absolutely hate how he plays this year. I have nothing positive to say, but I think I'm going to play him a lot because the whole world was on him yesterday for good reason. I didn't play him yesterday, but the reason everyone put out was a good reason. He's been very good without Bradley Beal on the court this season. Obviously, he sucked yesterday. He lost his confidence, made it back with a couple of shots late, but it wasn't enough. I don't know why he would be 50% ownership in the biggest contest yesterday and 8% today. So I think I'm gonna get there a lot. I don't know what you think about that.
That is absolutely my thought process. Is if you have a guy that screws you, just screws you, go right back to him, because everybody, if you're a public bettor, I'm not saying that it's bad, but if you're a public bettor, what are you going to probably do? You're probably going to hammer his under because he pissed you off yesterday, right? And you're going to give me that value, right? That's what I was saying. I was saying in my chat this morning was I put out my play this morning, and then I'm like, beware, this line is going to move down, because if you look at the three things that people look at the most, head-to-heads, all that, home away, blah, 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 is not going to look good. But if you don't like actually watch them, you're not going to know why I'm taking them. You know what I mean? There's so many public things that like they're going to go right for, right? Like I said, head-to-head is going to be the first one. But Dinwiddie, it's just he can do the same thing. He can get the rebounds, assists. If I'm looking at anything, I like the rebounds assist line. I was actually very surprised seeing that he's gotten 7 assists or 7 rebounds, 6 rebounds, 5 rebounds. Just his ability to rebound here, especially with a possibility of getting a lot of threes up, because we saw Kuzma early in the year just vacuuming rebounds, right? He was getting 20 boards some games. Now that you have centers in there and they're working there, Kuzma's probably going to be on the outside now, and now we're going to have those longer rebounds pop out there, and I think that this is a better spot, for Dinwiddie. I like it. Oh, maybe that's what I was thinking. Thank you, Jay. I know they said that he cleared protocol for COVID, but I didn't know that he was still out. But I did see one of them was in, so that was Uber. Okay, my bad. We will talk about him in a second.
I was going to say, it's a good transition
all right
there.
That is absolutely perfect. Thank you, Seam. I appreciate it. We're going to go right into our DFS value picks. I'll let you go right off of what he said.
Yeah, man. If you're a DFS guy, you know Cedi Osman. I mean, most NBA fans, I guess, might. But, I mean, the guy, like, he's a real DFS chalk guy. I think the DFS community likes him a lot. That's personally where I started getting into NBA, so that's how I view a lot of the stuff. But, yeah, no, I love Osman. I mean, he obviously showed out last game. He even started real slow. But he got there with assists. He got there with points. The guy also puts up on the defensive end, too. He can be one of those guys that grabs you 4 steals randomly, which is always great to see. So he does it on both ends of the court, and his usage is going to be really high. Like a lot of people pointed out, what they did is they didn't start Rondo. They kept Rondo for those second-team rotations with Kevin Love, setting up the pick and pop. And they kept Cedi in there to start. So Cedi will shoot when he feels like it. The guy played with LeBron for a while. He kind of took that heat check motto with him. You know, he loves doing that. If you make one, you got to shoot it next time you're down the court. So I'm going to have Cedi in probably all my lineups today, assuming he's still starting at point guard, which obviously DFS time, you got to be checking out those lineups. Once his props come out, I want to know what they are too. If we get like a 6.5 on assist, you know, something like that, I could consider it for sure. So I like Cedi a lot. Waiting for some prop numbers, but I'll definitely get there in DFS today.
Yeah, and that's another reason I'm going to kind of throw the plug out there. We have both of our Twitters in the description. Guys, if there's an injury, like this shit has been nuts. If that happens, follow us on Twitter. Have those notifications on. Even if you take them off during the day, put them on at like 4:30 Central Time. Give yourself an hour and a half. If we post something else, like imagine if Brunson goes down, then yeah, probably I'll take some Luka stuff, right? If Luka goes out, I'm going to probably throw some more Brunson, right? There's a lot of stuff, a lot of moving pieces in these games now, especially with COVID stuff now popping back up. So please make sure you go pop over there. Make sure you follow both of us. We will have our plays there quite often. So, I mean, we're going to have plays out probably all night. So make sure that you do that. That's my biggest thing is with these injuries and stuff. It's very hard to give you something at 2 in the afternoon and still have 3 hours till lock, right? Yeah. We're not both on the same page with like our work and stuff schedule where we can get it 30 minutes ahead of time, like every day, you know, we were able to on our spaces, which was nice. Yeah. But it's tough, right, to do a full live stream like this and be able to do it right before lock when we're also betting too. Like we're actually playing our plays. It's not like we're not betting our plays, right? So that's just my little spiel. But I'm rolling with Brunson. Jalen Brunson, like I said, is going to have a huge role today. I mean, you can't really beat this matchup. I wish Oklahoma City played faster. That'd be my only thing. But when you're playing Dallas, everybody plays faster. Dallas is like 4th lowest in the NBA in pace, so they're gaining almost 2 full possessions here. Terrible defense. Like I said, bottom 10. Oklahoma City in guarding defensive efficiency, and he's only 5,800. Right? They didn't price for it. They didn't do it the right way. I think that Brunson, when one of those two are out, should be a mid 6,000 player. Just because he does get steals, he does get assists, he gets the rebounds, right? He has the ability to, you might think he's actually sucking until you look at his box score, because he is so quietly putting up 30 points in fantasy, even with both of them. Now we have a great matchup, really, really shitty defense, and it should be a fun night for Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like them both. I'm going to be playing a lot of Brunson, a lot of Chetty. Chetty was actually one of my first collab plays ever on Twitter last year. I remember I was texting Con Locks. He's another Twitter guy. And I was hiking. I remember my phone was about to die. I was out like pretty far away, bad service. And I remember I got out that Chetty Osman collab. So good memories there. Let's bring them back today. I like Chetty. Going to be a good one.
Perfect. See Martin, good stuff. Let's go. Yep. Chetty going to shoot. You already know he's going to shoot. All right, let's go to our top guys today.
Yeah, so you might think when you see Cole Anthony's name up there, it's not going to be me speaking. It's normally the other guy up here, but I'm actually in on Cole Anthony today. You talked about how much you liked that game earlier, and I agree, and even Vegas agrees. That's a kind of unusually high total for both teams involved, most likely due to the complete and utter lack of center depth that the Pacers have, which means no matter how good individual defense you actually play, nothing matters because every team is just going to attack relentlessly to paint, and it's going to work. So I think Cole Anthony matches up that pretty well. Anthony's a great DFS guy. We talked about this a little bit before we were live, but I know you've talked about this week in and week out. The guy puts up in so many different categories, just like Brunson. He has so many spike assist week, so many spike rebound weeks. I mean, the guy's kind of a walking double-double at this point. He really gets there in different ways. His shooting's been real bad recently. We all kind of know that. His shooting has not been great. But what the kind of silver lining is he's still taking a lot of shots. He's still trying to get back in pace. He's just not quite there yet. Now we get a really disgruntled Pacers team right now that's kind of not in a great spot. This feels like a nice get right spot for him. I think even if he doesn't get to 25 points, I still think he'll give you a good day. But if he puts up 25 points in addition to grabbing you, 11 assists and 8 rebounds, suddenly he breaks the slate. And I think he has a lot better path to that than a lot of other guys today. So I'm considering getting there, even just an assist in general, just as a regular prop play too. That's been on my mind since last night, but I definitely am going to get there in DFS where he just contributes in so many different ways.
Yeah. 4 of his last 6 games has at least 2 stocks. 2 of the other games he has 3+. So,
yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of things to like here. Stocks are massive on FanDuel. I know they are on DraftKings as well, but even more on FanDuel because I think they're worth more.
Yep.
And I'm going to save what I have for Cole Anthony for a second when I get to talking to him because obviously I like him too. But I'm going with Russ. I know Russ has screwed me over more times than probably anybody. And so I get it. Like, I understand, but this is more of a fade on the Blazers, man. Like, the Blazers have awful defense, bottom 5 in pretty much every statistical category. And Russ, LeBron is doubtful. And we had a double-double with 20.7 rebounds, 12 assists last game, 35. So we've seen a pop-off game shooting-wise. And that one he shot the last 3, 4, 5 games over 50% shooting from the field. So, I mean, I feel like he heard all the talk. He put it in one ear, out the other, time to go. And we already say this. He is a petty player. If you talk shit about him, he's going to come out and show out. And now he gets a Blazers team that really is not going to be able to do much against him defensively. Like, maybe they'll put Powell on him, and he's probably better than Simons. But, I mean, there's really no one that's going to be able to stay with this pace of Russell Westbrook for this whole 35 to 38 minutes that we playing tonight. Still only mid 8,000 on FanDuel, which, I mean, you're giving me him in the same range as Tyrese Halliburton. I'm taking Russell Westbrook 10 times out of 10 in that one. Also, he's gotten a stock in 3 of the last 4 games. I know that's not huge, but at least it's another 3 to 6 points for him on that end. So I really like Russ today. I love the pace. This game is going to be so fast. And really, I don't see without LeBron, I don't see the Lakers blowing these guys out by any means.
Yeah, no, I think I'd like to say I can put my biases aside, and just kind of look at the board. It's really hard to trust Russ right now. So, I haven't fully made up my mind if I'm going to listen to your advice, but the thing is, the sad truth of it is guys like you that play Russ when no one else wants to, they're the people that actually win. Like for me, in my head, I'm thinking like, but think about how sad I'm going to be when Russ sucks tonight. But that's not how you should be thinking, like at all. So in reality, I do think it's a good matchup. I think this game stays close, and I think it actually goes over. Like this is a kind of a lean person. I don't play totals that often, but I would definitely lean over in this game. So plenty of opportunity for us. It's just about if he can kind of live up to it or not now.
For sure. We'll get to our long shot, trying to keep this one under an hour. We about 9 minutes. So let's get rolling. I'll go right into mine. And we're making a long shot. And we're actually kind of collabing on a guy here in Cole Anthony. I love Cole Anthony. That's why I didn't really talk much about yours in there. But this was one weird thing that I came up with. So bear with me. It's going to be kind of hard for me to put out here. But in every single game, I looked at the total here, 225, right? I looked at the last 3 games that 220 points have been scored in Magic games, okay? One game, he had 11 assists. And both of the other ones, he's had at least 9 of rebounds and assists in there. So he's been 1 away on a close 220 spreads, right? And this is sitting at 225. I really like Cole Anthony tonight. They're giving me plus 400 on him to double-double in a game that I like, a spread that I like, and a total that I like. And this dude's going to be dominating the ball. I think I only put Anthony double, but I put triple-double, so I kind of assumed that you guys could kind of get that inference there. And same thing with Harden here. I think Harden is going to be that spread the wealth around guy. Maybe like 20 points. Like I would not go over on his points tonight. I would go on his assists and his rebounds. I think that's where you're going to see his big pop off here because obviously Kyrie only plays half the game, so he needs to put up double the shots tonight, right? That's good for you. That's good for me. Grab those rebounds, push it down the court, get the assists. Only thing I hope for is that game doesn't get any further than a 3-point game, or else Steve Nash will pull him with like 10 minutes left. So I am still the hater of Steve Nash. He's the worst coach in NBA history. So hopefully this stays within 3 points. Because if he pulls them with 9 of something, Steve Nash hate club is going to be growing pretty big, and I'm going to be standing on the front line attacking.
Yeah, no, I mean, we don't talk about these beforehand, but obviously I do like Cole Anthony. We'll get to that a little bit more in a minute. But no, I like this a lot. I definitely tailed you. You sent me a screenshot before we went live and it had Russ in this one. And I was the one that was like, you know what? I can't play the Russ leg. I'll play the other 2. Hopefully now I'd feel bad if Russ had a triple-double and I just cost you, a solid, maybe couple grand maybe. So
yeah, it was 69 or 68 to 1 with Russ in there. So
so we'll see what happens. Maybe you just do that just because I jinxed it a little bit. I'm not very good at giving advice on long shots. Normally when I tell people they're wrong, they're normally right. So yeah, once again, I like this one a lot. I definitely am personally going to be invested in this tonight too.
Perfect. Let's get to yours. Kind of the same. We're saying in the 2 same games.
Yeah, so Kyrie 3-3 is, I talked about it early. Like I hyped this one up kind of as like one of my favorites of the year. It's not like amazing odds or anything like that. It's not like we're getting like 10,000 or anything like that. But normally when I do the long shot for this show, there's so many ideas in my head. I'm sitting here, how can I best combine this? I get lost. There's like 40 things I'm thinking about. Who's going to go off? This one was more just like I put this together and I was like, yeah, this feels like minus 110. Like normally I'm like, yeah, I should put $5 on this. This one, it's like, should I put like $300 on this and see what happens? Like, should we really gamble if I want to eat dinner or not tomorrow? And I'm just playing. Obviously don't do that. Never do that. But yeah, no, in like all seriousness, I talked about Kyrie threes earlier, but he's been so consistent. 6 of 9 games this year. No time for him to get warmed up or anything like that. Just straight in 4 straight games now that he finally looks comfortable. Additionally, those stats you said for Cole Anthony, I noticed it because I was thinking about double-double too, but I could get plus 200 for just 8 assists, which he did hit a lot more consistently. So it's kind of like the safer version almost. He's hit this in like 6 of his last 12 games, I believe. So half of his games, we're getting plus 200. The guy just has so many burst performances, so many impressive performances. I really do like this one a lot tonight. Kyrie threes, Anthony 8+ assists. We're getting almost plus 500 for it.
Yeah, pretty much correlated on both of these. So I think if one of us hits, I think we're gonna be pretty close on both. So
Yeah.
very happy there. Let's get 2 questions. Let's go 2 questions here.
Well, can I ask? Someone DM'd me one, and I figured they didn't. They wanted to know. They asked me. They got a promo, right?
Yep, I think I got the same message.
Okay, yeah. Did you have a thought on a prop you like in that Denver game? Better than minus 250.
Oh yeah. Yep. We did have the.
Because Utah has
I can't give you anything if Jokic is questionable.
Yeah.
If he's out, you can literally throw a long shot on Monty Morris, score 30 or something, like something like that. But like, that's the one game I can't give something out on.
Yeah.
If Jokic is out, that's literally like 40% usage rate out. Gordon is questionable too. So like, there are so many moving pieces there. I couldn't give you one. Maybe if you're looking for minus 250, I mean, 12 rebounds maybe for Jokic, 10. I mean, if there's no center and there's no Whiteside there either, like what the hell are they going to do?
Yeah, I think 12 rebounds would be sharp. I bet that's probably minus 180 before, probably. So, yeah, that's where I go. But you're right. Yeah, Jokic news changes a lot. I just wanted to, give him a chance. He DM'd us. So I felt like he won't do that extra effort.
I just checked that.
Yep. All right. Also, someone mentioned Dinwiddie is only 12 points on Prize Picks. That's a 2-point difference from every sports book. Why wouldn't you play that? I'm going to play that after the show ends, and I have to probably cross state lines, so that'll be fun. But yeah, I mean, goddamn. I mean, my guys, Joey. Oh, they're Prize Picks lines makers now. I don't know what you're doing. They left the Bet Karma crew and went over there, and I mean, now we're getting 12.5. So shout out Joey for that one.
And not like Dinwiddie's not going to shoot. Like this dude's going to probably put up 15 shots. So make 20%.
Yep.
Last one we'll go with last question, and we want to get it under an hour because I feel like when we go over an hour, people look at it, they're like, "Oh, it's too long."
I don't want
to. For some reason, whenever we're under an hour, we get way more looks. I don't know why. So please, before we get to the last question, drop a like if you guys are enjoying the content. We're going to do this every single week, like we always do. So make sure you do that. I haven't checked how many we're at. I'll have to check, and hopefully we can get to a nice, good round number here before the end of the show. I'll have you pop on here while I go check how many we're at right now.
Sounds good. What do you think Christian Wood over rebounds and Jalen Brown? So I like the Brown spot a lot, actually. I think that's a good value. I'm also just team Jalen Brown in general. I think he's a great player. So obviously like that spot for Wood. I don't have a strong opinion on his rebounds. I have been considering playing under on his points all day. Cleveland's a tough matchup. The good thing about Cleveland, though, PPS has been on it a lot this year, is that you have to stand real close to the rim, essentially. Like you have to play very close to the basket to compete with all the size they have. So, yeah, for me personally, I would say I would lean Wood under on points, but I don't have a strong lean on rebounds, and I would lean over on points for sure for Brown. I like that spot.
For sure. We're at 16 likes, around 50 people in here. So if you guys can hit that like button, would be really appreciated before the end of the show. Let's finish it up here and let's go through our recap. Obviously, I put the ticker down there, so all of our plays have been running down there for a while. But we'll go through here again. If you guys could just smash that like button, that would be awesome. Let's get to it, and we'll start out with you, Monotone.
Yep, Kyrie Irving over 2.5 threes. That's plus 110. I'm playing that for half a unit, but I love Kyrie tonight. Nurkic over 14 points and a steal, minus 120. This is on DraftKings for 1 unit. Oh, and then, long shot was Kyrie 3 threes plus Cole Anthony at plus 493.
Perfect. And then I'll just kind of run through mine and we'll go to our DFS together there. LeVert, 27.5 points, rebounds, minus 110. I think that's insane value. I'll put 1.5 on that. Honestly, I might put more on Brunson. The more I'm talking about him, the more I'm thinking about it. Brunson might be getting a mini hammer today. Might be getting that 2-unit hammer over there. I do like that spot quite a bit. And my long shot's going to be James Harden triple-double, parlayed with a double-double for Cole Anthony. Please, if you're going to tail this one, play them separately. If Cole Anthony gets a triple-double or a double-double and Harden gets a one rebound off, that's plus 400 for Anthony to double-double on its own. So please, if you're going to throw like a half unit on it, throw a quarter on it separate with them together too. Because I think Harden triple-double is like plus 280 still too. So it's not like you're getting chump change back if you're just tailing one. So DFS value for me is Brunson. We got Monotone on Chetty Osman. I'm on Russ, the most hated person in Monotone's arsenal there. I'm going to be on Westbrook. He's on Cole Anthony. Obviously, we both love Cole Anthony tonight. Might have a separate play on him myself as well. So we just hit the hour mark. I'm not sure if we're going to do what we're going to do Friday. We'll have to figure out what we'll do Friday. If we're going to do another NBA, because Friday is a big NBA slate as well. Maybe that's the thing with the Super Bowl, obviously. I ain't betting no Pro Bowl. That shit's not in my wheelhouse. I don't think it's in anybody's wheelhouse. But I think we might do something like that. Maybe we do something for basketball there instead, just with the Super Bowl being 2 weeks out. Do you have anything else you want to say, Monotone, before we pop on out today?
No, man, I think it was a good one. I think we got some real good plays today, so I'm excited for the slate.
Perfect. Again, follow us both on Twitter. Our Twitters are right there. I'm going to have it in the description of the video as well. Make sure you guys follow over there because that's where you're going to get most of our content. We do this twice a week. I mean, maybe we up it to 3 times a week, but there's still 4 other days we're putting out content. Other places, I know Monotone's doing articles. I'm posting my YouTube videos. We're everywhere. You can't get rid of us. So follow us over on Twitter, and hopefully we'll catch a couple more with you guys today. We'll talk to you guys in 2 days. We'll figure out kind of what the process is going to be on Friday, but I think it'll be good. So thank you guys for tuning in. Thanks for all the questions. You guys blew it up today. We really appreciate that. So from myself and Monotone, we'll talk to you guys in a couple days. Have a good one.